What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Infinite Gains. We're back with an update video. We're gonna be going over GME. Gonna be like a tinfoil video, kind of, not really. But again, I want to go over the GME, fractal cycle, whatever the hell you want to call it. Honestly, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's like the only way to get you guys' attention on Twitter and shit is to literally post some like bullshit fractal. Like, I don't know. It's kind of funny. It's like real TA isn't even like appreciated anymore. It's like you gotta do some fractal shit. Literally, like, people will just take this pattern and they'll be like, no, it's the same. It's the same. Holy shit, Moas is tomorrow. Holy shit. Holy shit. Like, come on, that's not real TA. Like, chill the fuck out. I mean, if you want to use fractals, like, use it correctly, but I don't know. It's gonna be kind of a tinfoil video, whatever. Anyway, so you can clearly see, so this is your weekly value area low, and that was the low in 2021, right? Basically, price breaks the weekly control here, but whenever you have whenever you ever have an anchored volume range, so price would bottom out at its value area low. This is its point of control, and this is its value area high. And you can see that every GME cycle is contained within its volume range, right? Every single one. Every single one. And that's why we're looking at current price action, and we are currently above its value area high. We literally came back, we broke out of it, came back to retest it, and bounced off of it. So that's extremely bullish. It is a little bit different than what had happened in 2020 and 2021. So, I mean, if we take this was kind of the fractal that we have been tracking for this movement here, right? And then we can show that on the daily chart as well. Right, so that was what we were tracking because, I mean, this one's kind of obvious to me, right? Because you have a macro downtrend, you have your bottoming in price, which would be the May equivalent. You break the downtrend, which would be this downtrend here. That downtrend is broken. And then that would be the equivalent of your macro wedge, right? And then you come into a consolidating pattern here. This is your consolidation pattern after the macro downtrend is broken. That one's just kind of painfully obvious, right? And then if we go back to the weekly, it's just like the MOAS equivalent. The MOAS equivalent of the breaking point is you have your initial move whenever you break your value area high, but the MOAS, this is literally what happens. You shoot up into this fair value gap, which is your macro horizontal resistance. Like, super simple shit. You break your value area high, you shoot up into macro horizontal resistance, this is your fair value gap. It's the same shit. Your next move here is to shoot up into your macro horizontal resistance, which is your fair value gap at 47 to 50 bucks. Once that zone is broken, you are literally MOASing. It is that simple. That is the same equivalent. This zone is this zone equivalency. And it is painfully obvious. You have macro downtrend. You have your bottoming at the value area low. You break value area high, gap up into horizontal resistance. Like, this is it. And then you MOAS. Like, it's actually too easy. It's actually painfully obvious on the macro chart. So, the thing is when the hell is MOAS? I mean, you'll know whenever we're about to MOAS, whenever you hit that $50 to $60 range, like right here. You'll know that's MOAS move. You'll know it. Another thing that's I kind of pulled up. So these red lines here, this is quarterly options expiration. Yeah, I went ahead and did it for you. I looked at it at this calendar. So we have our options monthly OPEX. So a monthly OPEX would happen on the third Friday of each month. And then you have quarterly expirations that are marked here. So March 31st, June 30th, September 30th, December 31st, and that's for 2025. I already marked previous options. So the red ones are the quarterly expirations on the chart, which I found kind of interesting because, we can see that pre-2021 MOAS, we literally hit this options expiration, quarterly option expiration MOAS, and then the MOAS completed before the next quarterly expiration. Funny enough, that's literally what happened in May. You hit the quarterly options expiration, MOAS had finished by the next one, and now we're currently hitting another quarterly options expiration. Now, that's not the full picture because we do have monthly OPEXs, and I took the liberty of putting that on the chart for you. So these yellow ones are monthly OPEXs. So honestly, you can really see a distinguished pattern in 2021 of price action actually utilizing them. Is it throughout the entire chart history? It's not that clear. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not super clear. I mean, you can see it. You can see several moves in which, you could say that there's correlation. Yeah, just for example, like, okay, let's overlay the quarterly expiration. So we have a quarterly expiration in 2021, and then you have the initial MOAS move that peaks out here into this consolidation pattern into the next monthly OPEX. And then after this OPEX is hit, you have the MOAS move, and its completion is done by the next OPEX. So you have a quarterly expiration, initial MOAS move into the next monthly OPEX, and then it has a continuation and finishes by the next monthly options expiration. And so we actually have that same setup, which the only reason why I'm talking about is it's like, kind of tinfoil. Like the whole requel thing, the last one happened in January, started on January 13th. This whole kind of cycle, OPEX, tailwinds theory, whatever. I just thought it would be kind of interesting, kind of tinfoil-y to kind of put that on the chart and kind of see if we could distinguish a pattern. So we did hit this monthly options expiration. I just thought it'd be kind of cool, like if we had that initial move to like $50 to $60, and then had the same setup where you literally have the MOAS move in between these two monthly expirations. So like you would have the initial move to like $50 to $60 by January 17th, and then you would have the full MOAS move and completion. Okay. Like you would have the full MOAS move and completion by this next options expiration. I don't know. It's kind of tinfoil. If you see any kind of pattern, let me know. I just took the liberty of putting this on the chart for you guys because I thought it was interesting. So again, the red ones are quarterly expirations, OPEXs, and then the yellow ones are monthly OPEXs. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of interesting that we have a pretty similar setup as January. Kind of the price action is presenting itself in the same way. I don't know. It's kind of tinfoily, but I mean, literally, if you see a run up into January 17th, that's what it should look like. You should tag the $50 zone, and then post January 17th, you should have the real MOAS move that finishes before the next monthly OPEX. So, anyways, I thought that was kind of interesting, but yeah, let's go back to some real TA. So, this is our daily chart. You can see that our value area high is now sitting at 34.65. This is actually a really good price action. We came up, hit the value area high, came back into our fair value gap that we talked about in our previous video. Guys, we nailed price action like perfectly. Honestly, there wasn't even anything better that we could have done. Like, we nailed price action. We called it a rejection at the 34.10. Came back into our support. Created a yearly candle wick. So that's perfectly fine. Our next goal is to now beat 34.65, 35.19, and have a continuation. Honestly, I don't see much else that has to be accomplished once we beat 34.65. Especially on the weekly chart, it's like we have already broken out of our volume range, came back to retest it. I don't see what else has to be accomplished. I don't see it. I don't understand what else has to be accomplished at this point, other than a gap up, not really a gap up, but a move to $40 to $50 zone, which this zone right here. So around $50. It would look something like this. You make a move here, and then you probably will gap up above or look something like this. But really, once that $50 zone breaks, it should be MOAS move. It really should look like this. The only question of, it's kind of like when. When will it happen? I have no idea. Can't tell you. We have that theory with the quarterly expiration that it could happen between December 30th and March 24th. So it could happen sometime between then, and then if we are utilizing monthly OPEXs, it could happen by February 18th. So anyways, I thought that was kind of interesting. No really new ideas from the previous video on GME, but just wanted to go over that quickly with you guys. AMC. So AMC is pulled into our support zone, into our volume support zone right at 396, which we discussed in our previous video. This is our 4-hour chart. Our value area low sitting at 419. So we need to reclaim 419, head up to our point of control, and once we recover 497, we need to break 597. This is our weekly chart. This kind of, it's kind of too easy because our weekly chart has hit our value area low at 236. 238, has found our support right in this volume based support zone. Weekly control is at 434. The upside potential here is, minimum to your value area high. If your value area high breaks, you will unlock prices. You could even hit $150, $130 to $150. That's no bullshit. It's no bullshit. I already went over the Nucleus stock and a lot of different other stocks that have this same exact setup where on the weekly chart, you just hit your value area low, you break your weekly control, and you literally rocket out of your value area high. I see the same setup over and over and over again. You can actually see this on the weekly chart. That's literally where you broke down. Let me delete this. Look, In the 2021 initial move, where do you find support before you have the second move? Your value area high. Where did you break down? The August move where we waterfall down from $45 to $2. Your weekly value area high. I mean, it's not hard. Like, it's super simple shit. Like, you hit your value area low, you break your weekly control, and then you come back up to your value area high. And once that's broken, then you can unlock macro resistance, macro horizontal resistance, right? So you have macro horizontal resistance going back to the beginning of price action, sitting at around $100. So you could literally just make a zone of, macro horizontal resistance from $100 to $150 at this zone that goes to the beginning of price. Like, the setup is super simple, which kind of brings me to this other stock, Tilray, that, I mean, it literally has the same setup as AMC, if I'm being honest. Because this one's actually very interesting. It looks like a shit stock, and to be honest with you, it kind of is. But I mean, it has an interesting setup. It has a macro triangle. If it's able to break this zone, it's gonna see probably some fat resistance right up until $1.84. If you can break $1.84, then you're gonna shoot up to the point of control at 263. If 263 is broken, you're breaking out of this macro triangle. And I mean, 1011 has to be broken, but I mean, if 1011 breaks, this could do some pretty crazy shit. To be honest with you, it has the potential. I told you guys to buy at $1.14, so that to me is a low risk trade. Literally, like, set your stop loss at $1.14. Set your stop loss at break even. Hold this thing. I mean, if you see the point of control break at 263, I mean, I'd be fairly confident to say that 1011 can be achieved. If 1011 breaks, then watch out. Watch out, because this stock could do some crazy shit. But I mean, for now, I'm fine having a position in Tilray, and just having my stop loss at break even, or having my stop loss at $1.14. I'm perfectly fine with a position like that. I have no problem. That the risk reward there is good enough for me, especially if you see 263 broken. Like, if you see price action like this, and then you see 263 broken, I mean, that's fairly convincing. That's fairly convincing for me that this thing can do some very bullish stuff. But there's nothing really more to be said with Tilray. It's the only kind of concern with Tilray is the kind of length. This move took 330 days. So, you could be here for a while. I know a lot of people are here for, to make a quick buck. But it kind of just depends. This has the setup for it to be a fairly explosive move, but unfortunately, it could take quite a long time for the stock to recover. So we'll see what it does. Just wait. If you want to wait, just wait for 263 to be hit, and then we'll kind of see what it can do from there. See if it can go a little faster. FFIE again, it's the same setup, guys. It's the same setup. You hit the value area low, 99 cents on the weekly chart. It's the same setup over and over and over again. Let's go to that daily chart. This looks pretty good. You seem to be like consolidating in this little triangle. That's always good to see. Prices accepting the range. It's consolidating. Your next resistance is going to be 1753 on the daily chart, which, that in and of itself is a crazy amount of gains. So even at $3, you could target this point of control at 1772, and then you have your value area high sitting all the way at 35 bucks. That's a hell of a game. Plus, this option has this stock has options. So, yeah, I mean, you're looking at a fairly good trade. You know, I think I pointed this out on my Twitter some time ago. FFIE. So it was sitting at 243 whenever I called it. It's currently at 318, so you know we're already green. I mean, if this consolidation pattern holds, this thing could do really well. I mean, I have no problem investing in it right now. Possibly targeting that $17 range. This is our 4-hour chart. You know, your point of control on the 4-hour chart is currently sitting at $3.33. I'd be more confident if we saw a break of $3.33, head up to this 4-hour value area high at $7, and then have a continuation to that $17 level. If we go to our weekly chart, I mean, you can just see the potential. Look at this macro downtrend. If that's broken, then this thing could go crazy. Okay, I'm not actually talking about these crazy numbers. Like $1,000, okay, that's probably not happening. If it does happen, then that would be insane. Okay, but anyways, you can just kind of see the potential to even target this. Retest at like $17. Holo looks like it's coming back into support. Has support all the way down to $4. See here, my only concern is the gap fill with this. You got an initial rejection at your 4-hour val at 656. It's not that good. Like, if it came into gap fill like this and had a continuation, I'd be perfectly fine with that. Honestly, and that kind of makes sense. This was a previous point of control, so like if we put just a horizontal line right here into this zone. So I'd probably be a buyer if we came back into that $3 range. I know I had posted about Holo again on my Twitter page previously. So that was at 4. So I mean, it's in support right now. Let me get this off the chart. It's kind of annoying. Let's go to the 1 hour, see what we can see. Yeah, it's in support right now. For me, I would just wait. I would wait until it either hits this zone in like the 330s to 314. I would wait until it either hits this zone. So if it went like this, or if it does this, if we reclaim 589, then I'll be bullish again. If we come back to 330 to 315, I might think about entering a position there for Holo. But anyways, we went over a lot of stuff, some tinfoil. That's pretty much the whole video. If you guys have any questions, then jump in my Discord, comment. It'll be in the comments in the description. Check me out on x.com at Mr. Gains. I post updates there as well. But that's pretty much the whole video. Appreciate you guys for watching, and peace out, y'all.